Good morning. Thank you for the love. I came with more questions, y'all. I came with more questions. I'm excited to help you have the best year ever. And in the mornings, I've been doing intentions. And I just have it on my heart right now to pop in and kind of ask you a question like, what did last year teach you? What did you learn from last year? This is something that you can't afford to ignore. What did you learn from last year, 2025? Because we have to have reflection to really tap into what went well, what didn't go well, and what you learn. Because here's the thing, reflection, you gotta have reflection without regrets. You gotta have reflection without regrets. Hi, Abina, hi, how are you? Thank you all so much for meeting me here. Larry, thank you for the hearts and the love. I was having a conversation with a client yesterday, and she was telling me about all the shifts and all the changes that's happening in her organization. Do you feel like your management is plotting to get rid of you? Do you feel like that? What has been happening in your department, in your company? Has there been a lot of layoffs? Did you get a bad review? You found out some things in your review that you had no idea, Daisy. You had no idea. But after you read the review, you're like, okay, where did that come from? You have all the receipts of all the hard work that you've done. Matter of fact, you even did like extra people's work. You have all the receipts showing the impact that you had, yet you got a bad review. Talk to me. What is last year teaching you? You can't afford to ignore it. You cannot afford to ignore it. The client was also telling me there are multiple reorgs. Their department have gone through multiple reorg. They are shuffling and reshuffling. And she's getting a little bit concerned. She's getting a little bit uncertain. I want to talk to my people leaders. I want to talk to my managers. I want to talk to my high performers. You're reading the writing on the wall and you want to figure out, how can I have the best year ever? To have the best year ever, you have to pause and you have to reflect and see what happened in the last year. What can last year teach me? What did last year teach me? What are some things that you can pull from last year? If you tap into Michelle, what are some lessons that you got from last year? Just remember, lessons are not losses. Lessons, there's a phrase by my coach that he says, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, you never lose. In order to have the best year ever in 2026, you have got to count the cost. You've got to go back and see what went well, what didn't go well, and what can you learn. And in the learnings, you lose nothing. I have a workshop coming up in January 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern. I would love for you to join me. It is called How to Have Your Best Year Ever in 2026. I want you to have the best year ever, but you cannot have the best year unless you go back and do some examination of what last year taught you. There is extra wisdom in looking at your disappointment differently. As you will hear me quote Wayne Dyer, here's a quote that says, if we change the way we look at things, William, the things we look at will change. But we got to look. We've got to look. You've got to look at the lessons that last year taught you. When I say lesson, it doesn't have to be negative. It could be positive, it could be a reality check. It could be something that you didn't know about yourself. It could be, hi, Regional. It could be something that you surprised yourself. You got your reviews, and yes, you got a great review, some of you. You didn't realize management was paying attention. Now what? Now what? Right? What's your next move? Thank you for the love. If you are a high performer, if you are a manager or a leader, and you want to create a framework to win in 2026, I would love for you to join me on January 20th. In the workshop, How to Have the Best Year Ever. We're going to identify those roadblocks and things that got in your way last year if you didn't have a great year. And we're going to identify the clutter, the things that stood in the way, and how to create a framework that will help you to have the best year ever in 2026. You've got to know that sabotage, procrastination, overthinking did not serve you last year. Those are some lessons people are learning. They hesitated, they second guessed themselves. They didn't raise their hand for the stretch assignment. Now they're getting a backlash. And they have to think about now, how do I move forward in 2026? How do I create the best year ever? You have to turn experience into strategies. You've got to turn your experience into strategies. That's how you win hope. That's how you win in 2026. You have to extract wisdom from disappointment. You got to pull it out and apply the lessons from the disappointment. You have to apply them in 2026. This year won't change if you do nothing different. If you do nothing different in 2026, you're going to go back and get the same results from that you got last year. You got to lean in and reflect and ask 2025, what are the lessons? What did it teach me? What did I learn about myself, about my skills, about my gifts, about my desires, about what I want next? Do I want to start a new business? Do I want to create a side hustle? Do I want to write a book? What do you want to do? Who do you want to become? Do you want to exit corporate and start your own gig and become an entrepreneur? What is it that you want? You have to set yourself up for movement, positive movement that moves you forward. And that's what coaching is. Coaching helps you to identify where you are. It also helps you to see where you want to go, your true north. Go back, the only time we go back is when we grab a hold of those experiences that worked, those examples, those strategies that work. You bring them forward and you repurpose them for what's to come. You bring them present, I should say, and then you repurpose them to go forward. Coaching allows you to think outside the box. Coaching allows you to think differently. Thank you for the love, Poetic Nurse. Coaching allows you to reframe the experience you have, to reframe the experience that you have had. It is critical that you identify the lessons from 2025 and ask yourself, what did last year teach me? And lean in. Get the goods on it. Get all the lessons you learned positively and all the things you know you need to work on that didn't go so well. Because it's in the lessons that you move forward, Larry. If you don't want this year to look like the last one, it starts with you asking better questions and answering better questions and have a plan to answer them. And as your coach, I would love to get on the journey with you. Click the link in my bio and sign up for the event coming up on January 20th. How to have the best year ever. I want you to win in 2026, but you can't win if you do the same old thing. I think it was Einstein who said, you cannot continue to do the same thing and expecting a different result. You got to pivot, you got to change, you got to reframe. And that's my job, to help you to think outside the box. Because here's the thing, when you're in the frame, you can't see the picture. So if your organization is doing things you don't like, you're uncomfortable, you're uncertain, it's time to take inventory and decide what next. What next are you going to do? Partner with a coach like myself who can help brainstorm with you, who could also be your accountability partner to help you to get things done, to help you to make traction, to create strategies and work it out, to brainstorm with you to figure out what next. Thank you for the love. It is so important that you create the outcome that you want. Back in Hollywood, when they make movies, they create the last scene first. They create the outcome, what they want you to feel like when you finish watching the movie. And then they go backwards. Then they create all the frames and go back to the beginning. Now, I want you to look at the outcome that you want in 2026. But look at the ending of 2025 and use the information in there to create strategies. I would love to jump in there with you. I want you to connect with me on January 20th so we can create the framework for your best year ever. There are learnings, there are teaching lessons in 2025, but you need to have a reflective time to look back and see what went well, what didn't go well, and what can I learn? Because it's in the lessons that you learn you don't lose. You never lose. The only time you lose is if you leave the lessons on the table. Lessons are money. Lessons are abundance. Lessons help you to pivot faster, better, bolder, clearer, and with impact. If you struggle with your communication skills, if you struggle with your confidence, if you struggle with asking for the money, if you struggle with imposter syndrome, you are scared to lean into your power and your gifts, I am your coach. I want to help you lean into the power of who you are, all the knowledge that you have, user, and create a framework to step into your power in 2026. I want you to step into your gifts because they will open doors for you. Your gifts. Stop playing small. Stop hiding. Raise your hand high up. Don't just raise it like here. Nobody ain't gonna see that. If you stay quiet in meetings at work, they won't know you're there. You gotta open up your mouth. You gotta get involved. You gotta say something. When you say something, they know you're there. Share your opinion. Share your thoughts. Ask for the stretch assignment. If you have your eye on becoming a VP, a AVP, whatever role you want, manager, have a conversation in your one-to-one and ask them, what do I need to do to make this happen? Right? You gotta ask. I had to do that. When I was looking for my AVP role in my corporate space back in the corporate days, I literally asked them because I saw people getting promoted that weren't doing squat diddly. I was doing a lot. And yet I wasn't being recognized. You have to speak up. You have to advocate for yourself. And if you struggle to advocate, Kathy, I will help you to create a framework and build your power and your strength and to improve your self-talk so you can go into the corporate space or wherever you are, whether it's an entrepreneurial space or you work in a nonprofit. Hi, Royal. Thank you for meeting me here. I want you to think about what did last year teach me? Because you can't have a best year ever in 2026 if you leave the lessons on the table. The lessons translate to income. Your lessons translate to money. Your lessons translate to your next level. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to meet you on TikTok at 7:45 tomorrow morning, where I will share with you intentions for the day. You can go back on my channel and click on the link and look at the intentions. We've done 7 so far. I would love to connect with you. I also would love for you to connect with me on January 20th. Sign up. There's a link in my bio. Click the link and sign up and bring 5 of your friends because I want you to speak up, ask for the money, and I want you to get out of your comfort zone. It's in the discomfort that we grow. Some of you love butterflies. And I want you to know, in order for the butterfly to happen, the caterpillar had to go through a metamorphosis. It had to change. It has to go through that pain. And humans cannot interrupt it. They can, but if they do, that butterfly will either die or live but never fly. Based on research, that's what they say. The data shows. So if you want to go through a transformation and become that beautiful butterfly that you know you are down on the inside of you, raise your hand for the stretch assignment at work. Take on the extra project. Do it scared. Do it messy, but do it anyway. Reach out to a coach like myself. I want to help you. I want to hold your hand and pull you up so that you can win. Someone did that for me while I was in the corporate space. That's how I won. That's how I got through it. I want you to win. So just know, for you to transform, there may be pain, there may be disappointments, there may be hurt, but how many of you know pain is your teacher? You can learn through pain. You can learn. In pain you have purpose. It's in the discomfort that you grow. I want you to grow and I want you to stretch. I want you to become the best version of yourself, but it won't happen because you think it. You gotta do it. And you gotta do it not once, not twice, but repeatedly. You have to let go of perfection. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is stealing from you. Just know that you can reach for progress and reach for consistency, and it will override perfection. Progress and consistency is the best fix for perfectionism. And if procrastination is getting in your way, action is a cure. As your coach, I will walk you through it. I will help you to do it, Roseanne. Thank you all so much for meeting me here. I'm excited for what 2026 is going to give. And if you want to win, if you want to lean into the best version of yourself, click the link in my bio and register. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:45 at this station. All right, we'll talk soon. Have a good one, and I can't wait to meet you. Bye-bye. Thank you all for joining.